Hello, in this video we're going to look at the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine from 1904 given to Ivan Pavlov in recognition of his work on the physiology of digestion through which the knowledge of vital parts on the subject had been transformed and enlarged. This is probably a picture familiar to you. Here we have a dog, he sees food, then a bell is rang, the dog associates the bell ringing with the food and he reacts to it and when you ring a bell later, he thinks, hey, there's food. This is conditioning. Okay, from his work, the quote from the official Nobel site, through the digestive system, the body extracts nourishment and energy from food. Ivan Pavlov studied the various processes for digestion, in part by exposing sections of a dog's intestinal canal through surgery. During the 1890s, he identified ways in which different parts of the body through the nervous system affect movement in the intestinal canal as well as secretion of gastric juice and other secretions. He also pointed out the significance of psychic factors such as hunger's ability to activate secretion of gastric juice. Furthermore, he demonstrated the sensitivity of gastric mucosae to various substances. Also, you see his laboratory in which he worked. Then some biographical information linked to his work. Between 1891 and 1900, Ivan Pavlov conducted research on the physiology of digestion. He developed a chronic experiment using fistulas to observe organ functions continuously under near normal conditions. His innovation replaced the older acute vivisection method, which disrupted natural processes and hindered understanding how organ functions within the whole organism. So he worked on living animals that were still living, while previous methods were using elements that were killed. Pavlov's approach revolutionized physiology, demonstrating that the nervous system plays a central role in regulating digestion. His findings laid the foundation for modern digestive physiology. Pavlov's studies of digestion led him to explore conditioned reflexes. Investigating secretion in several glands, he showed that such responses were not subjective but reflexive, temporary and conditioned, and confirming second hypothesis that psychic activity is reflexive in nature. This discovery enabled objective study of complex interactions between organisms and their environments, moving beyond subjective psychological methods. In 1903, Pavlov presented his theory defining conditioned reflexes as both psychological and physiological phenomena. He argued they were fundamental mechanisms underlying responses to external stimuli, allowing objective analysis of psychic activity. Pavlov transformed Sekhanov's theoretical idea into an experimentally proven science of conditioned reflexes. He established three guiding principles: determinism, analysis, synthesis, and structure. These principles to a scientific theory of medicine and understanding organismal regulation. Pavlov's experiments revealed that conditioned reflexes originate in the cerebral cortex. He demonstrated that any external stimulus paired with reflexes could become a conditioned signal. His work on artificial reflexes uncovered the laws of cortical function, culminating in the integrated Pavlovian theory of nervous activity. Again, from the official Nobel Prize site. Here you can see the link. And another view from his laboratory. Then we go to a award ceremony speech by Professor Count Murner, summarized by me. The aim of science is acquisition of knowledge. It should not be measured by the ease with which it can be brought immediately into practical usefulness. The importance of the activity of these men whole of medical science must be estimated from the contributions they gave to the advancement of knowledge. The study by the physiological science of normal life processes and social problems is in most cases of purely scientific. It is only exceptional and in a roundabout way that they emerge into practical use. In the early days, opinions on the course of digestions were, this is probably a lost sentence, so long as the digestive process could not be observed or investigated directly into the stomach, no real knowledge could be obtained. Most gastric processes are studied using animals. Technique is an important factor in such experiments. Pavlov, whose animals remain in good health without injury to the function of the digestive tract, permitting an observation and systematic investigation of an almost unlimited period. It was new, eh? Until that time, only investigations were made on dead animals. The digestive can be influenced in various ways by the nervous system. The complication becomes still greater when it's realized that we take into account not only nervous pathways having their origin in the brain or the spinal cord, but also the sympathetic nervous system, and that we have further to pay attention to the interdependence between the different parts of the digestive system through the nerves, so that variations in the behavior of one may affect that in other organs. It is in the nature of things that cognition of the scope and character of the functional independence of the nervous systems and the digestive organs is of great importance to the knowledge of the physiology of these organs. In this respect, Pavlov has revealed new points of view and has fruitfully stimulated the solution of these problems and through his methods made it possible to reach conclusive analysis of them. Pavlov has corrected earlier erroneous opinions which were held even with regard to the main points, and can be influenced from other parts of the body. It has also been found by this means the gastric secretion is influenced by psychic impressions and impulses. Pavlov has enriched our knowledge of the significance and functions of this important nerve in other respects too. The vagus nerve paths are not, it appears, only stimulates of the gastric secretion. Pavlov has shown that it may be also influenced through the sympathetic nervous system. Pavlov has also demonstrated the specific excitability of the mucous membrane itself. It was supposed before that it could be brought into activity by almost anything within the stomach. Pavlov has demonstrated that this generally accepted view to be incorrect. The reverse is true, the gastric mucous membrane having a sharply differentiated excitability for special substances with which it comes in contact. Thus, there are relationships reminiscent of the specific excitability of the sense organs. An example, the eye is sensitive to light rays of such a weak intensity that they do not exert any influence on other parts of the body. Here, by the way, you see another view of his laboratories. Similarly, the hearing organs are affected by vibrations in the air. Corresponding processes are observed in other sense organs. They show a quite specific sensitivity to certain unique stimulators. It is now known, thanks to Pavlov, that a similar specific excitability is present in the mucous membrane lining the digestive tract, even though the subject is not conscious of it, and it influences the processes of secretion and of motility of the canal. This mucous membrane has in fact a unique faculty of being stimulated by certain substances present in the food or otherwise present in the digestive tract. Many other substances have no or comparatively little stimulating action on the secretion when they come in contact with the gastric mucosa. Still, other substances exercise an inhibiting influence on the gastric secretion. As another aspect of this specific sensitivity of the gastric mucous membrane, one must consider the remarkable effect demonstrated by Pavlov that the amount of gastric secretion within this part. Here, he, that is Pavlov, of course, has further enriched us with significant data. It is well known that ingested food undergoes chemical and physical alterations under the influence of the secretions from the mucous membrane lining the stomach. The secretions of the gastric juice and the recognition of its constitution is of great importance to the normal utilization of the foodstuff. An elucidation of the circumstances which are significant in this respect therefore gives important information about the physiology and thus also the pathology of the digestion. Before Pavlov's work, it was a general and incorrect opinion that the gastric secretion was not influenced via the nerves connecting the stomach and the central nervous system. Pavlov has demonstrated that the vagus nerve linking the brain with the various thoracic and abdominal organs contains fibers which, during their activity, stimulate gastric secretion, and others which have an actually opposite effect, thus inhibit secretion. In this way, the secretion of gastric juice is controlled by the central nervous system, and its digestive strength shows certain typical variations dependent on the quality of the food taken. Pavlov researches into the physiology of the digestive organs constitute a systematic series of experiments. He thus seeks to investigate associated problems, apart from those directly connected with the innervation of the digestive organs, problems related to the active constitution of the digestive fluids, thus questions of a purely chemical nature, have also been studied. Here, Pavlov has given new points of view and impulses which constitute very valuable contributions to this field. Since, however, our knowledge of the substances concerned is still wrapped in many respects in obscurity, in spite of the skillful work of many previous investigators, I will only quote one fact first known through Pavlov's investigations. This is of course the speecher, referred to the extremely interesting observation that a certain ferment, or more correctly, a ferment-producing substance in pancreatic juice, acquires the qualities which permit its activity during digestion only after being influenced by another ferment which occurs in the intestinal juice. Here again, another view at the laboratory and is with Pavlov here and his cooperatives and a dog, which is investigated, of course. We find a kind of chemical cooperation between various digestive organs. This combination has even more facets, and other forms of mutual organ activity have been described by Pavlov. He has not only studied the isolated physiology of the different digestive organs, but also the whole system which they consume together. It can be said that the observation he has made confers to that what he has called the efficiency of the work of the digestive tract, by which he means the organic correlations between different parts. We now have a fairly comprehensive view of the influence which the activity of one portion of the digestive apparatus can exert on the other. In other words, how the wheels of the digestive mechanism fit together for the efficient use and advance of the body. Next time, a video will be posted containing a summary of the Nobel Prize lecture given by Ivan Pavlov in 1904. All information, of course, from the official site. You can follow the link in the description. Thank you for watching. Maybe until another time.